Petar Čekerevac, Senior Fellow of Atlas Network, leading the project on decentralized technology. I think in the past few decades, the world has realized that there has been a sort of stagnation among the academic institutions, and that people are just incentivized usually to pass exams and to just go get a job after that. But in a sense, many universities have stopped being a place where ideas are exchanged and where new ideas and disruptive ideas are discussed. And I think that Universidad de la Libertad has realized this, and that from day one it has focused on being not only a place where you go to pass exams and maybe get a job after that. It has focused on creating a space for people with all kinds of disruptive ideas to come and discuss those ideas. And it goes, in that way, it goes beyond what traditionally we mean by a university or an educational institution. It becomes a venue where various people meet, like we see on these two events, Radical Innovation Summit and the Crypto Policy Co-Creation. It's people who are involved in policy research on some of the most cutting-edge technology policies, or people who are actually building cutting-edge technologies. So you have people of various backgrounds, people who are academics, people who are policy professionals, people who maybe haven't even been to a university but have become entrepreneurs. They all meet at the university to exchange their points of view and to discuss ideas they care about. So I think that's a fundamentally different approach from what many of other universities do around the world. And I think it's also a very needed approach globally, because it would be great if this university could set an example, and if more schools around the world would focus on not only giving classes and exams, but enabling innovative, disruptive thinkers to come together for a day or two and just produce some new conclusions, some new ideas, some new partnerships and collaborations. I think there is no reason why a university would not do that. And I'm sure glad that even before it's officially open, this university started doing that. So it's great to be here and see this happen in practice with so many people from different parts of the world, US, Latin America, Europe right now. And hopefully in the future we'll have people from Asia and other places as well. So I think it's very important that the ideas of individual freedom are discussed both within the academic curriculum, but also on the periphery of the curriculum itself. So on events that are maybe side events to what students attend on a regular basis. And this is important for several reasons. One is that if you look at universities are considered places where research happens, where scientific conclusions can be arrived to. They are still places, for example, academics and professors are still people that policy decision makers, that other people look to when they need advice on public policy. And then public policy determines the framework within which we live, within which we build businesses or do anything else. So on one side, it's very important to create this intellectual core that even if they disagree with some of the ideas of freedom, they at least understand them, and we can engage in a debate around them to inform the wider public, to inform decision makers in politics. But I think it's important for another reason. Schools like this, they educate future professionals in various fields. They train scientists, they multiply. Whatever happens here will be multiplied over the next years and decades in business, in politics, and this is why it's important to build that core within a school or a university. But there is another part of this, and that is this angle of universities being a meeting place for different people who are not students or professors. And I think that's a place where you can hear, for example, you're a student of social science or economics, but you can hear an entrepreneur speak about the newest innovation in biotechnology or something completely outside of your regular curriculum. Or you can also be maybe a startup founder who might find good talent at the university for a certain role at his business. So universities are more than just places where you go to listen to a class and take an exam. They are, in a way, they should be a place where ideas collide, where they're discussed, and where new ideas are born and new partnerships are born. Why not? Conferences don't take place only in big conference venues or hotels. They should also take place at the universities. So I think that one thing that's needed is that universities themselves need to be ready, like this one is, to make that additional step, an extra step, and try something new. I think that most of the universities in the world, especially publicly funded universities, are incentivized to just have students pass through them, and then they receive money from the state for so many students attending them, or just incentives are usually bad for universities. They incentivize people passing exams and professors being basically protected from any scrutiny. So we need that change of mindset among people who run the universities. And it's good to see that new mindset incorporated in this institution, but universities around the world need to be willing to see themselves in a different light. I think it starts from there, because I don't see government starting this change. It has to start from private initiative. And it is going to have obstacles, because it's not easy in every country to build a private university. And in some countries it's forbidden to do that. But whenever we can, we should build innovative educational institutions that are motivated by practical outcomes, by pushing things forward, by inventing something new, by creating solutions to the problems that the society has, that society might have not thought of. So they have to become places like that. And it starts from the people who are investing in universities, it starts from professors who are teaching at those schools, from deans, rectors, and from parents who incentivize their kids to think about going to a school that demands more from them, but where returns will also be higher. So and then states will eventually recognize this, politics, but it is not likely to start from the government, it's not likely to start in the parliament. It has to start with people from different sides of the society who just see that the current system is not working and who want to build another one. And it's students, it's the professors, it's parents, it's investors, business people, it's all of them. So that change starts in one's head, and it goes from there. So the role of technology in all of this is that technologies are the great enabler, in that sense that they allow universities to do more than they were able to do before the technology. So anything from the invention of the internet to the newest, for examples like blockchain or video calls that have become popular, remote learning, to various other technologies that are more complex in their nature, they are big amplifiers. So they allow universities who want to leverage them to be a lot more efficient in what they do. For example, AI is a very recent field, but very connected to educational system and its needs. So it's going to be, and it's a two-way street. So on one side, they make educational institutions obsolete in some areas. And there's many things that an average student can get now just from YouTube, from AI. You can get solid education without ever stepping a foot into a university. But if there is a university that can recognize this and then decide to use the technology, they can create a whole new experience and a whole new set of opportunities for every student. So my logic here would be, moving forward, if students can learn something at home on their own, they should by all means learn something at home. Universities should focus only on things that cannot be learned outside the university, on facilitating new connections, on facilitating new discussions, on providing an immersive experience 3D, 4D experience for students to amplify the knowledge they can get otherwise. So if somebody can learn something on YouTube and using AI, they should do that. But then they should come to a university like this where they can meet people who are, several steps ahead of them in the career, to do research that's only possible to do within a group or in the laboratories, things like that. So universities should be increasingly aware of and focused on figuring out where their competitive advantage is, not compared to other universities, but compared to technology. And then be smart about using that technology to just do things they're best at, right? So that's how I see the relationship between education and technology.